I just want to start off this video by saying thank you to Plarium for allowing us an entire month to reset and to replenish our resources. It was very, very kind of you. Very thoughtful, very mindful. Much appreciated. First and foremost, we have a CVC coming up. I'm really excited about this CVC. I've been prepping for this for a hot minute. If you've never watched any of my previous videos, my name is Fail. I enjoy doing challenge videos and showing my process of going through raid. I have a fixer-upper account, which is my main account here. There's plenty of things to be fixing up and we're working our way through them. With CVC coming up, however, I enjoy doing challenge videos. My favorite challenge video to do is the silver only challenge. Now that doesn't mean I only use silver during the CVC. I just like to see how many points I can get using only silver, and then of course I go on to finish up all the rest of the resources that I have. Not only do we have CVC going on right now, but we also have a fusion that's coming up. We just finished one. I know they're like every month or so apart, but I feel like we just finished it. I still feel some of the pains that went through from that last one. So this next one, it came too fast. It came too quick.
That's what she said.
We're gonna move on from that. In this video, I'm going to talk about my goals for CVC, what I'm going to be doing not only in my main account, but also with my free-to-play account. We do have a free-to-play going on right now. We have a whole series on that. Please feel free to go watch. Hold up, click link in the description right now to get Uugo for free, as well as 2 more amazing epics as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Here you go, you'll find Uugo here as well as Tagoar and Rector Drath as you progress through the game. Then use promo code SUPREME6 to get yourself an insane Void Legendary Supreme Galek. This is an amazing account start in raids, so go ahead and click my link right now and follow the steps. First off, I want to talk about how we were tempted this weekend. Okay, I went through a lot of temptations over the weekend. We had so many freaking events. We had a champion training, dragon, gears, ascension, champion chase, tag arena. There were so many different events over the weekend that were really tempting me to kind of go in on them, at least on my main account, and try to get a couple more of those juicy rewards that they come with. But like I said, I stayed strong, and the biggest reason is because of the CVC coming up. Speaking of skipping events, the reason why I started this off by saying thank you to Plarium to Raid for giving us a month off from using up so many resources is because of this upcoming fusion.
Well, and you're welcome, by the way.
Now, we have this fusion coming up. I did participate in the last fusion. That one did deplete a lot of my resources in a lot of different ways, but I was able to get through it a lot more easily because I went a little more in on the summon rush and was able to get an epic. This one, however, because we have to get all these fragments, it's hard. You can't really skip anything. You can't get around it in too many ways, and it's a lot more stricter. Now, of course, whenever a new fusion comes up, as we do, I went through and watched all the biggest, creators and their thoughts on the fusions. I like to watch those with, a grain of salt, because obviously I don't want to hear a big content creator who's really great and masterful at this game say, oh yeah, no, this is easily a skip, or oh, this is great here, but maybe not worth it, and then instantly latch onto that and go, okay, no, then this isn't for me. This is not where I should be going. Or, vice versa, have them go, this is an incredible champion, absolutely a must have, you need this, etc., etc. Really, I try to listen to what they say and then take that with a lens and look at it at my current account and my needs. So for example, for this specific fusion, it seems like this guy's great for Hydra. My account, my main account, desperately needs help with Hydra. That said though, I've been going through and looking at all the different champions that I have and the different teams and the compositions that I could create for Hydra, and I actually think that I have quite a few different champions that could potentially do well in Hydra. I just haven't built them. I just haven't really put in enough focus and enough time and effort into building out those teams. So when it comes to this champion, especially because I heard over and over again, this is a great champion for a Hydra team for a long Hydra run. I do not have a long standing Hydra team as of right now. So I definitely need to work on building up other champs. I don't know that I think it's worth it to put in the amount of resources that are needed for a fusion in general, on top of that rebuilding another potential Hydra champion for a team that I might not be able to have supports for him for. So I think for me, I am leaning towards skipping this fusion event, though that said, I'm still a little bit on the fence. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you're doing. If I do skip, I'm definitely going in on saving as many resources as possible and replenishing in a lot of different areas that I had to kind of give up on, and also catching up on minnow runs. There's so many different times where I'm like, I just really need to build out these champions, and I don't put in enough time for minnow because there's all these different events, different fusions, different CVCs going on. It's hard to go, okay, I need to just take a step back.
It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard.
step, getting the shiny object syndrome of all these events and rewards, you know, taking a step back and really doing some account maintenance and building up on those minnow runs and getting the masteries done. Fusion aside, main priority right now is the CVC coming up. Again, I've been prepping this for a hot minute on my main account. I'm really excited about it because I have some big goals. I'm a very goal-oriented person. On my main account, I am trying to beat my all-time top record. Currently, my top record for CVC is 700,000. That was like a reach too, by the way. Previously, I'd only done around, 400,000 whenever I was pushing it for CVC, and then I was able to get 700,000. Now, my goal for this upcoming CVC PR, which I'm really nervous about, but I am going for 1 million for the very first time. I get it. I know there's some people out there that can do millions regularly. That's not me. I haven't been there before. This is going to be the very first time. I'm a little nervous that we're gonna get slammed with a team, an opponent that is just gonna go like crazy all in, or big spenders, or you know how it goes. You never know. Sometimes you hit an opponent in CVC where they're just obliterating you right off the bat, or they're just tagging you along, but you could tell anytime your team or your clan puts in more resources, they just 2x whatever resources you put in and stay far enough ahead of you just to, they like to mess with our mental. But that's okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going in for the 1 million, like not full stop. What I'm going to do is I have a set amount of resources that I'm going to be putting into the CVC, like really quickly early on, and just going in for as many points as I can. And then there's other resources that I'm actually going to save and set aside so that depending on how the CVC is going, then I will put them in. So while we have that 1 million goal for this account, it's not like it's happening no matter what. We're not going to waste resources if it's clear that they're going to be wasted, if that makes sense. I really want these personal rewards. With that million goal in mind, let's just say we go all in on it. The CVC is going well, or it's a tight race and I want to go all in. Here's the resources I have and how I'm going to work through them. First up, we have books. Not a crazy amount. I don't even have a mythical champion, so these won't be used at all. I wish we had more Lego books, but it's okay. These are one of these moments where I look back and I'm like, okay, I skipped that event and I skipped that event, and those events had the books that I wanted, like a legendary book or an epic book, and I kind of wish I had pushed a little bit more to get those. But again, that's just one of those lessons learned kind of things. But books, we're doing okay. Those will be a decent amount of points. Now, I don't use this too often, but I think I might reference this a little bit throughout the video. There is a tool on hellhades.com where you can go in and input the resources you have, and it's a clan versus clan calculator. I don't use it a terrible amount, but this will kind of help to visualize a little bit about points. So just with those books alone, which I do plan on using all of them, again, depending on how the CVC is going against our opponent, but there's 55,000 points already. Now, with the Great Hall, we'll probably be able to do more than what I'm estimating, but I think I'm just going to go into this little HP for the voids real quick and do level 8, 9, and 10. I did input that right here for the Hell Hades calculator, for the CVC calculator, so now we're at 66,000. There are a few champions that I have set up or set aside that I'm going to be ascending. During this, I'm also going to be doing a lot of ranking up. I've got my 2 Ugos here, for example, as well as Mr. Fabian, the last fusion that we just did. I have been going through and doing a lot of champion training the last couple of weeks so that I can go and at the very minimum get these 2 Ugos, or at least 1 Uugo and the Fabian, up to 6-star and ascend them and do all the books and all the fun stuff. But I think I might have enough food to get them to 5, all 3 of them to 6-star. That's the goal anyway. That's where we're trying to get to. We also have a bunch of chickens and things to be able to do that. I'm not going to input that into the calculator, but you can imagine how many points that probably will add up to. Now, of course, there's also a bunch of other areas of the game that you just normally do during CVC, like Faction Wars. We'll be doing all of those. We can defeat all of the bosses in Faction Wars. I mean, my Knights Rev, I can only do 1 star on them. But again, that's a whole other story. We're working on that. But we'll be doing all of our bosses in Faction Wars. We'll be continuing to do Arena as often and as frequently as possible. That will also continue up with our points frequently. We'll be getting points from, clan boss rewards. Obviously, we try to get that done the day before, which is today, unless you're watching this when the CVC starts. But I'll make sure I have that prepped. Tonight, I will not be touching, once it resets for me, it resets at 6 p.m. I will not be touching this account other than to do items that don't count for CVC. So I won't be doing any tag team arena. I won't be doing my Faction Wars keys. I will make sure I have clan boss ready to go so that I can get as many little chest rewards there as possible. Okay, so those are some of the main key areas and resources that we'll be using for the CVC to kind of get us going, get the points started off right at the very beginning. Let's talk about where we're going to really focus in on if we want to continue on, depending on how the CVC is going, to really hit that 1 million mark. First and foremost, let's look at our 2X's for the rewards for points. We've got potion keeps, which I never do in CVC in general. Iron Twins objectives. This one's interesting because I'm one of those players that ignores Iron Twins way more than I should. And then this is what I'm so excited about because this aligns perfectly with my plan. We do have a 2x points for Forge, which is freaking fantastic because one of my big boy hitters or big boy points, or where a lot of my points will be coming from, is going to be my silver. I will be doing a silver only challenge again. This time I'm going to clean up my inventory and all my artifacts and my gear to see if I can get this to 200 million by tomorrow. I am praying that the CVC team that we go up against isn't like a hard hitter, spends a ton of money or like goes crazy in on CVCs.
Fun coupons!
And we're just completely outweighed from them because I want to be able to use these resources. I've been saving up some Forge items. I've been saving up the silver. This will be an incredible way for me to be able to hit home and get as many points as possible. Speaking of the Forge and why it has 2x and why I'm really excited about it is because of this new feature that they added, the quick craft. And I also love the fact that when you pull an item, or craft an item rather, they also have this new ability to be able to just upgrade it right then and there to see if it's something you want to keep or not. I can't even tell you how this quality of life, this small little quality of life feature completely changes it for me, and I love it so much. I think it makes a huge difference, and it's crazy how underrated small little quality of life features like that are. A couple of other resources that I plan on using, but I might, hold off on them a little bit to see how the CVC goes, is gems. I have 4,300 right now. I do plan on utilizing those. I'm not going to be buying any masteries for those. I'm not going to be buying any shards for those. The plan is to convert them to energy and really running up all the different dungeons and areas of the game. Oftentimes during CVC, I actually like to run minnow, but because this is CVC with PR, personal rewards, and I have a really high goal, I'll most likely be spending it in Spider because that's where you can get really high points in comparison to like the other areas of the game. Right now, currently, I can do Spider stage 25. I do have a 30-second team that can do it fairly consistently. It's like a 8 out of 10 run, 9 out of 10 maybe. So it does fail every now and then, so I don't love doing that, but it can do stage 21 consistently across the board. Alternatively, I have been working on a stage 10 solo farmer, or maybe like a 2 or 3 team comp for stage 10. I'm trying to work on a speed team. That's the goal for stage 10. So regardless of if it's 1 champion, 3 champions, or a full team, I'm trying to get a speed farming team for stage 10 so that I can just run that up. That's 100 points extra over the stage 25. But what's interesting though is that it costs the same amount of energy to do both. I'm a very visual person and I really like spreadsheets because it just makes it easier. So I just quickly put this together. So let's say, okay, we have 4,322 gems. That converts to 108 refills. If we were going to use every single gem for an energy refill, it's 108 refills, which is 14,000 energy. Okay, let's say we took all of that 14,000 energy and we put it into Spider. Okay, here's our Spider points that we could get. If we were doing stage 25, each time we do it, we get 300 points. Energy cost is 20. So I took the amount of energy that we have, okay, divide that by the energy cost, which is how many runs we will be doing, and then of course you multiply it by the points that you'll be getting, and so we would have gotten 210,000 points for doing normal 25 using all of our gems turned into an energy refill. If we decided to do hard 10, which is the exact same energy cost, but we get 400 points instead, we gain an extra 70,000 points. And then if we added that to our points that we were talking about earlier, putting in those books that we had, for example, okay, we're at 55k, and then if I went in, I put in Great Hall, the clan boss, we're already at 70,000 points for those. Not to mention anytime that we are, ascending champions, or all the champion training that I mentioned we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking at least 2 to 3 different champions to 6-star based on the resources that I saved up. That already adds up to about 400,000, total clan points. And then if we go back and add in all of our silver, if we were to use all of that silver on the forge and upgrading artifacts, as I mentioned, 50 million silver was able to get me about 100,000 points. So we could potentially get anywhere from 400 to 500 200,000 points from just our silver and our forge alone. You can kind of see how I've put this together where we can do the 1 million. It really just comes down to, do we want to? And that just depends on what our opponents are doing, how well they're faring off. If they start off running like crazy and it makes the rest of our clan actually give up, because that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just realize there's no point in wasting all these resources if we're not going to be able to catch up to them anyway. Morale might go down. We decide to just jump ship. So it really just comes down to, yes, we probably most likely can do the 1 million for the clan v clan goal for the main account. It really just depends on if we should. What I'll be doing with the silver, by the way, is I do plan on building out some champions. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, this is a very much a fixer-upper account. Some of the key areas where I really need to get in and fix is clan boss. My clan boss for Ultra Nightmare, depending on what affinity it is, I have to 2 to 3 key it. There's even sometimes where I get really bad RNG and I have to 4 key if it's a spirit affinity, which is so frustrating. But I cannot 1 key Ultra Nightmare, but I should be able to. I just haven't touched those builds in a really long time. Hydra, I really need to get this up as well. I'm struggling with Hydra, but I do know that I have quite a few champions that could easily help me with that. I just haven't taken the time to build them. So I do plan on going in and using that silver to, 1, build out different teams for these areas, and 2, I also plan on going back and reworking some of my champions. Some of these champions that I built, I haven't touched since I built them, and some of them have been like that for years. Because 1, I either built them back when I had no idea how to build and I was just going off of, whatever I thought I could. 2, I might not have had the right artifacts for them at the time. Or 3, maybe I watched a tutorial on how to do it but didn't realize I was going to use them in a different area of the game than what that tutorial was telling me to do, so I need to go in and fix those up. So we have a lot to do during CVC, but I like it. I have fun with this sort of stuff and going in and strategizing and figuring out how to get all these different points. And I'm also freaking competitive. It's not my fault. I was built this way.
I can't change the laws of physics.
But all in all, I definitely think that we can get to the 1 million for this clan v clan. Please comment and let me know what your goal is for the CVC PR event, if you do have a goal, or what's the best that you've been able to do. On this main account, it's 1 million, and on our free-to-play account, I am going to try to go for 200k, 200,000. I was able to do 100,000 the last CVC, but that account was only 7 days old, and I could easily do 100,000. So I think I'm going to go for 200, 250 for the free-to-play. I've actually saved up some resources on the free-to-play account so that I can participate a little more in the CVC PR. We will be 6-starring our second champion. It was so hard to wait and put off those resources and not 6-star another champion, but I knew that it would be good to save for the CVC and gain points for that. And, we'll just be running up a ton of different areas of the game as much as possible. The background multi-battle is so freaking helpful. I will possibly be doing some minnow during this. I want to get these Ugos built out. I've got them to level 50. We're going to get them 6-starred, and then I'm going to level them up to 60 levels through minnow. So I might run minnow. Not sure. It depends on how many points we need. And then, like I said, I might convert those gems over to energy so that we can run up. Spider team built out. We'll use some of that silver to build out some champions for Spider level 10 hard. Might be a little bit difficult, but I think we'll be able to get there. All right, comment, let me know your top scores for CVC that you've ever gotten, or what goal you have for this one. If you're going to be participating in this upcoming fusion that's going on, I am leaning towards skipping it for both my main account and the free-to-play account. Still up in the air a little bit, but that's kind of where I'm leaning. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Overall, I'm excited to nerd out on this CVC and be competitive like I normally am. Thank you so much for watching and following along. I appreciate your time today. I hope you have an amazing freaking week. Keep killing it, and I'll see ya.